falls from the sky. You drink it, you swim in it, water is everywhere. This substance is crucial to supporting life on Earth and plays an important role in Earth's atmosphere. The term water cycle is used to describe the movement of water among Earth's 5 spheres: the lithosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, cryosphere, and atmosphere. This cycle involves various steps, but the 4 main stages water circles through are evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Today, we are going to draw a water cycle as we learn about the different stages. Water is made up of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. It is scientifically written as H2O. Water freezes or becomes solid at 0 degrees Celsius. Between 0 and 100 degrees Celsius, water is in a liquid state. At 100 degrees, water boils and evaporates, becoming a gas. However, water can evaporate at any temperature because evaporation occurs to individual molecules, not the entire substance. As the water molecule heats up, its energy increases and it can float into the air or get picked up by the wind or another factor. The water cycle is no particular starting point because a water molecule is always in one stage of the process. For this video, we will start with the evaporation stage of the water cycle. Water collects in lakes, rivers, oceans, and puddles. Then the sun heats up the water, turning some molecules into a gas called water vapor. This process of a substance turning from a liquid into a gas is called evaporation. You can watch water turn into a gas when someone boils water. Rising from the pot of water is steam, or water vapor. Sometimes, solid forms of water, like snow, will evaporate without turning into a liquid. This is called sublimation. As water vapor rises, it cools, causing the water to go through the next stage called condensation. This is the process of water turning from a gas into a liquid. The tiny molecules of water crash into particles of dust, pollen, salt, pollution, mushroom spores, and any other substances small enough to be blown high into the air. These particles the water condenses around are called condensation nuclei. The tiny droplets of water grow larger as they bump into each other in the air. Altogether, they form clouds. The average cloud droplet is 0.2 millimeters or less. In its condensed form, water can be transported hundreds of kilometers. You can also see condensation happen if you place a cold lid over a container of hot water. The evaporated water will condense on the lid in the form of liquid water, which you can watch fall back into the container. The next stage is precipitation. When water droplets grow large enough, they become so heavy that they fall back to the ground as rain, hail, sleet, or snow. Alternatively, water vapor can reach the dew point and then condense. When it is humid outside and everything feels hot and sticky, the air is filled with particles of water. Often at night, the air and objects outside will cool down, and water will condense onto these objects. Here I have a jar filled with ice. If I put it into a humid room, I can see water droplets form on the glass. The dew point is not the same everywhere, all the time. It depends on different atmospheric conditions. The dew point occurs when the air is so saturated or filled with water vapor that the air cannot hold the water anymore. Warmer air can hold more water, so that is why you tend to see dew form at night, because the air is colder at night and therefore cannot hold as much water. Similar to the dew point is the frost point. This is when instead of turning from a gas to liquid, water turns into a solid through a process called deposition. Remember we talked about sublimation earlier? Deposition can be thought of as the opposite of sublimation. Upon hitting the ground, there are different paths that water can take as it collects. The water might be absorbed by the soil in a process called infiltration. Next, this water could soak downwards through percolation, the process of fluids moving and filtering through materials with minuscule pockets of trapped air. Then the water can collect underground, where eventually it reaches lakes or the ocean. You have probably noticed that after it rains and the sun comes out, everything dries up. This is because sometimes precipitation will evaporate again shortly after reaching the ground. In this scenario, the collection stage is very short. The water could also become runoff and then collect in puddles, lakes, rivers, or streams, where it could eventually flow to the ocean. The water cycle is an important part of Earth's atmosphere, and understanding how it works can help us appreciate the unique conditions needed to support life.
Bingoa.